Yeah, buddy. It's cold outside, so time to talk about some good cold weather fragrance related content. Right, guys? Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darian Hill, and I go by on YouTube, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. On this channel, I discuss looking good and smelling amazing. That's right, smelling amazing. I think both of those things are equally important. Looking your best every day and absolutely smelling your best is extremely important. So if you agree with me, then I would recommend that you click the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release future content on the channel. So guys, as I said before, I'm going to be talking about a little bit more content that is more centered around the different seasons or the different weather or temperature environments that we're going to find ourselves in as we move forward. I always say, of course, you can wear whatever you want to wear whenever you want to wear it, but I do think that there are more appropriate times than others to wear certain fragrances. So on today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about 5 great date night fragrances that are great in cold weather. That's right. I know in different places in the world, we're able to get back out and about now, and we have opportunities now to actually go on date nights. Of course, if you're not comfortable with that, guys, guess what? Just be creative. Maybe prepare dinner at home. Or if you can't cook, maybe you go out to one of her favorite restaurants, get some takeout while she's out and about, bring it back home, throw a little bit of your own seasoning on it, put it in a pan and say, hey, baby, look what I prepared for you. And if you want to be a little bit even more unique, instead of just doing the traditional eating at the table, why don't you go out in the garage, put some nice mood music on, some candle lights, get her favorite bottle of wine, set the table, go out into the garage with some nice music, some nice mood lighting, and set the mood right there in the garage. Come on, fellas. We can be creative. So I'm going to give you guys 5 great fragrances that are great for the cold weather date night close encounter type situations. So if you want to know what those 5 fragrances are, you know how we get down. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Let's go ahead and jump right into the list. The first fragrance that I want to talk to you guys about today is no stranger to the fragrance community, but this one right here from the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian is Grand Soir. You can see that Grand Soir. And this is a great fragrance for a date night or close encounter situation. Women find this fragrance very, very sexy, very, very attractive, and very alluring. What you're going to find out, man, a lot of these fragrances, when you talk about date nights or close encounters, especially in the cold weather, of course, these are they're sweet fragrances. You find notes in here like tonka bean, vanilla, or either some of those more manly, masculine fragrance notes like leather, oak moss, and things of that nature. These are the kind of notes that you're going to find typically in these kind of fragrances, and this is one of the best on the market. In addition to vanilla and tonka bean, this one also features amber, and I've always said this is one of the best amber fragrances I've ever smelled in my entire life. It's very, very sexy. It's very, again, alluring. And this is just really a masculine scent that's really good for close encounters. Again, the sweetness really contributes to the alluring factor. So this is one I highly recommend for a date night in the cold weather from the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is Grand Soir. The next fragrance on the list comes from the House of Tom Ford, and this one is Ombre Leather. Ombre Leather. This was released in the year of 2018. Now, the original release of this fragrance was in the Private Blend collection for Tom Ford, and again, it was re-released as a designer scent in the year of 2018. And man, I'm telling you, this is some sexy juice right here when it's cold outside. Again, leather, of course, is the main note, as the name indicates in this fragrance, but it's accompanied by some of the other notes that I spoke about before. You have a nice ambery accord in this one as well, and it just really works, guys, in the cold weather. Another note that you're going to find that oftentimes in my experience that is associated with very sexy fragrances is a spice called cardamom, and this has a very nice cardamom opening with this fragrance. Just works well with the leather. Again, a very sexy, sexy scent when the temperatures are cooler outside from the house of Tom Ford. This is Ombre Leather. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Nasa Amato, and this is Pardon. Nasa Amato Pardon. I've talked about this fragrance a few times on the channel, but I'm telling you, again, if you're talking about date nights, it does not get much sexier than this fragrance right here. This one has a dark chocolate note. And as I always told you guys before, this one has a dark chocolate note. And although I like to believe that I am enough dark chocolate for my lady, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit more dark chocolate to go on top of this dark chocolate. So dark chocolate, then you have cinnamon. And what's really unique about this one, you have a nice floral accord in the opening with magnolia flowers, man. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this is some good juice right here, again, for date nights. So if you never put your nose on it, I highly recommend, of course, getting a sample of this one, because this one will knock her socks off if she wears socks or stockings or whatever they wear. From the house of Nasa Amato, this one is Pardon. All right, guys, next up on this list, we're going to the house of Valentino. This is Valentino Uomo Intense. Valentino Uomo Intense, again, another sexy fragrance. Some of those notes, same notes that I mentioned before. This one has leather in it. This one has some vanilla in it as well, but the star player in this one is the iris. Of course, this one kind of reminds you of those fragrances like Dior Homme Intense, Prada L'Homme Intense. They kind of go in that same family, but this one to me is a little bit smoother, a little bit sexier. And that's why I made this list. This is a great fragrance for close encounter or date night situations in the cold weather. I'm telling you right now, I know there's some other ones, Noir Absolute, but this one is my favorite of the bunch. This is Valentino Uomo Intense. And last but not least on this list, guys, this fragrance comes from the house of By Kilian, and this is Noir Aphrodisiac. Guys, it's all in the name of this fragrance, Noir Aphrodisiac. The main notes in this are iris and dark chocolate. Need I say more? Again, dark chocolate is good for any type of date night situation in my humble opinion, and this is a great fragrance to wear for those situations. This one truly smells like a candy bar. So in my humble opinion, if you like Snickers, you know what they say, Snickers does satisfy you. And this fragrance will satisfy you and her as well on a date night. One of the sexiest fragrances in my collection for a date night. From the house of By Kilian, this is Noir Aphrodisiac. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, as I gave you guys 5 great date night recommendations for the cold weather. I always appreciate you guys' attention to these videos because, of course, I know you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your guy, the bow tie fragrance guy. I love looking good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace, and be cool all day, every day.